Okay, Jilly. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make some of the lye. And this really, when it comes to making Ormus, it's a two-step process. You have to make the lye first, which takes several hours to come to room temperature because it gets really hot after you make it. And this is a very dangerous process, so you have to make sure that you either wear safety gloves or whatever. You have to make sure that you have distilled water. It's very important that you use distilled water to create the lye. So you just get a measuring cup, and we're going to put in 1 cup. Now I already have a bunch of lye already made up, which is actually right over here. And you can see it right here. I already have a bunch of this made up, but whenever I'm making Ormus, I always make sure that I have it as full as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 cups of this, and I'm going to pour it in here once this one has cooled off. So, and I always label this stuff lye, very dangerous, so nobody tries to drink it because it's deadly. It'll actually eat your insides right out. So basically, the basic concept is 1 cup for 2 tablespoons of lye. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to do 2 cups, I'm going to fill this with 2 cups worth of water, and then I'm going to take 4 cups of the sodium hydroxide, not 4 cups, 4 tablespoons of sodium hydroxide, and I'm going to put it into the water. You never ever put water onto the lye because it will cause spattering, and it could actually jump up and get you or go somewhere else, and it's very dangerous. It will actually kind of create a weird reaction that could seriously injure you. So you got to be careful about that. So I'm going to put 2 cups of water in here. I got a measuring cup that has 2 cups, so it's pretty convenient. And we're almost there. That's about 2 cups. Like I said, I just want to pretty much top off what I already have, just because I don't want to run out when I'm making lye or making the Ormus, because if you run out, then you got to go through the process of creating the lye and all that again, and it takes forever because this stuff needs to cool down for an extended period of time. And not only that, you have to also make sure that you don't get this stuff in your garbage disposal, if you have one, or in your drains, because this stuff will literally eat away the drains and the garbage disposal. I went through one already doing that. I was pouring it down the drain, and I accidentally killed the garbage disposal, and that was not very good. So basically, here's what I'm doing. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of this. I'm going to put it actually over this. And I got my tablespoon right here. So I'm going to put 4, not 2, 4 tablespoons, because we have 2 cups in here. 1. 2. 3. 4. Okay. Done with that. Can put that here. Can put the cover on this. Now, one thing I want to point out with this stuff, like I said, you should be using safety glasses, but this stuff is going to get hot. It's going to cake, and you just got to keep stirring it. You want to just keep stirring it and stirring it and stirring it until it goes clear. But you can't breathe this in because I don't know if you can actually see this, but it's really cloudy right now, and that means right now it's full of gas. So these fumes, these gases that are coming out of this are actually very harmful and can make you sick. So you want to make sure that you're not breathing this in because it can hurt you. So you're just going to sit here and you're going to keep stirring this. And keep stirring it, and as soon as you notice that it goes clear, that's when you know you can stop stirring it. And that pretty much means that all of those fumes and all the gases are gone. So you don't need to worry about breathing those fumes in. As soon as it goes clear, you know that you've mixed it completely and it's ready for it to just sit there for the next couple hours. See, right now it looks pretty clear. I mean, I can put my head over it and breathe it in and I can still smell it, so it's kind of strong. And I can still see that it's dark. Not really dark, but it's dark enough. Looks pretty clear in there. Looks like I pretty much got everything. Yeah, I can feel the heat come out. It's really hot. Like I'm putting my hand on the outside of this and it's like really hot. Okay, so it's going clear. I'm sure you can see that from there, but I'll show you in a second. It's really, really clear now. So that means it's done, and you have to make sure that you're stirring this with a metal spoon. Never stir it with a wooden spoon. And then what I like to do is I'll take that spoon that has all the lye on it, and I'll just dump it into a cup of water. So now this is the lye that we have here, and it's very hot, very dangerous, and I would not recommend covering it until it cools down a little bit. But you know, you definitely do need to cover it because this stuff is dangerous. So this is the first part of making Ormus. Once you make enough of this, you put enough of it into a container, and you can keep this stuff forever. It never goes bad. You can just keep on adding to what you already have, and then you never run out, so that you can keep making Ormus. Because once you run out, it takes a long time to make it. So that's it for this video, and in the next video, because today is November 24th. On the full moon, we can create Ormus 3 days before or 3 days after. So we're actually right. Tomorrow is the full moon, so we're perfect. I'm going to make it tomorrow, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright, thanks. Bye. Okay, Jilly, so first things first, I'm going to go through all of the list of things that you're going to need to create Ormus. So the first thing you're going to need is, you're obviously going to need your lye, which I showed you how to make that already. You're going to need a measuring cup. This is a 2-cup measuring cup, and how I make Ormus is I use 2 cups of Bokek Dead Sea Salt. And you can use 1 cup if you want, but if you want more Ormus, then you need to use 2 cups of the Bokek. The only thing is, though, is if you use more cups of salt, you're going to use more lye. Okay, so if you use less salt, you're going to use less lye, and that's just how it is. So, let's see, we got your syringe. I use tape. I usually use duct tape, but I ran out. So I'm using electric tape to tape the meter onto the actual gallon jug that I have to use. And we have our pH fluid, 7.0 and 4.01. And I also sometimes I use turkey baster which is right here, just a regular turkey baster. And the only thing I use that for generally is when I'm making, when I'm dissolving the salt into the water. Sometimes there are some salt crystals that are left over that need to be removed. So that is one of the most important things you need to do, is you need to make sure that you remove the salt from the water so that you're not ingesting it, because this stuff is Bokek Dead Sea salt. You can't eat this. It's not salt that you can actually eat. It's like bath salt, basically. So, okay, so then I generally, what I use is 3 cups, or bigger glasses, whatever you want to use. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to put the 7.0 and the 4.01 in each one separately, and then the other one is going to have distilled water, which is what you're going to put your meter into, your pH meter. And this is one of the Hanna instruments, which is this model right here and right here. So, and you should actually still have that in your Amazon account. You can probably reorder that if you, but you definitely need a pH meter. I'm going to show you how to calibrate it too. What you also need is distilled water and also purified drinking water of some kind. And obviously you need a wooden spoon. So that is pretty much it. That's all the ingredients that we have, that we need. And then of course we also need our 1 gallon jug, and generally I put about 3/4 of water in, which basically is just enough to get the meter in there and have enough room for it to measure the pH and everything. So, so that's it for all the ingredients, and I'm going to change the batteries in this camera, and I will be right back with, and I'm going to start mixing the Dead Sea salt. Okay, I'm back. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put the Dead Sea salt into the measuring cup. So we're going to measure out 2 cups of Dead Sea salt. I'm not sure if you can see this at the moment. Just bear with me and I'll show you what it looks like. And that's about 2 cups. So that's what 2 cups of Dead Sea salt looks like. Might actually be a little bit more, but that's alright. Doesn't have to be exact. Now, we're going to take our purified water and we're going to fill it up to the 3/4 mark that I put in there. And this is just a 1 gallon jug that I have here. So, let's see. Almost there. And I go this low, and I'll show you why. Because as you're putting in lye, the more lye that you add into this, the higher the water level is going to go. So when you're adding in a bunch of lye, you are going to raise the water level dramatically. So I just do this basically. Just make sure that there's just a little bit, and right now it's the water level is just right there, right to the bottom of the diode, and that's fine. And that's all I use it for, just to figure out that level. And then I mark it, and that's why I have that mark there for the 3/4 line. So next we are going to put the Dead Sea salt into the water. And let me move this out of the way so it's not in your way. And we are going to stir it. So now the object of this is to pretty much get all of the salt dissolved. And that's pretty much the object of the game here. You could be stirring this for a little while. Could take somewhere anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes. But you just need to make sure that you're stirring this really good and the water pretty much just starts to clear up. And once again, you know, when you're making Ormus, you want to make sure that your intentions are good, that you're not upset or pissed off about anything, you're not in a bad mood, because that will affect the quality of the Ormus that you're making. So if you're having a bad day, don't make it. And we're creating a pretty good vortex. One thing I'll tell you though is when you're making this, your arm is gonna get tired, and you're gonna have to keep on stirring and stirring and stirring, and you're gonna literally stir the crap out of this thing, especially while you're actually in the middle of making Ormus, while you're distributing the lye. And we still got a ways to go. Still is a lot in there that needs to be dissolved. It's not completely clear yet. You want to make sure that you've got a nice wide enough container so that you can get a good vortex going in there, and that's going to definitely help out when you're actually dropping in the lye. But you can see all of it. I'm not sure if you can see it from there. Yeah, so you can see all the salt that's still there that needs to be dissolved. Like I said, it takes a little while to dissolve this. Just have to keep doing it. Take a break, stir it, take a break. And you just keep going until the water is pretty clear. As clear as you can get it. And see now down at the bottom, I don't know if you can actually see this, but there are some particles that are still right down in the bottom. And generally when I get this as clear as I possibly can, I will just take the turkey baster and I will just scoop it out, or suck it out I should say, because those are the leftovers that are not going to dissolve. And it pretty much happens in every single batch that I make. It always happens. I always have to remove it, and I'm not going to go pouring the lye in there until I remove every single piece of it. And I always make sure that once I get to that bottom part where it looks like you've created the vortex and it's all sitting at the bottom, then I just go in with the turkey baster and I just suck it out. So it's looking pretty clear. I don't think we're going to get it any more clear than this. And I think we're ready to start dropping it in. So all we got to do is we need to get rid of those little bits that are down at the bottom. Just see what happens. Let me grab my turkey baster. Yeah, there's still quite a few of them down there, so I'm gonna suck them out. This stuff you can dump right down the drain. That's okay. you can dump this stuff down the drain, and it looks like there's still some more in there. To make sure I get it all. And there might be a couple more, but I'm just going to stir just to be on the safe side. Looks like there might be a couple little particles in here. Just waiting. When you make the Himalayan and the salt, the Dead Sea salt, and mix those two combinations together, you receive a lot more that you have to pull out. I've noticed that. So it's looking pretty good. Yeah. That's good. I'm just going to drop just a little bit more water out of this, just because we're over 3/4. Just a little bit. Just not, that's enough. We don't want to take out too much of the Dead Sea salt. So we're good. I don't see any more particles. Let's just look down in there, and I see nothing. Okay. Alright. Now we are going to start extracting with the lye, and for this we actually are going to use gloves, and I would recommend using some strong gloves, and I wouldn't get like the cheapy ones that, you know, you get at the store. They're like throwaway ones. You want to use ones that are strong, because you're going to be stirring for a while. So you want to make sure you're using some good quality gloves. And I got these big, like, purple ones. And they're pretty good. They go all the way up my arm. You don't want to get this stuff on you. The one thing that I will tell you though is, if you're gonna want to use vinegar, white vinegar, if you get the lye anywhere that you don't want it to go, like not in here, or on your skin or whatever, because if you get it anywhere else, unless you neutralize it with white vinegar, nothing else will neutralize it. And it also helps too if you use white vinegar, if you go over 10.4 or 10.7, because the object of the game is to get it up to 10.7 and then let it sit and then drop down to 10.6 on the pH meter. If it goes up higher than that, then you can drop a little bit of white vinegar in there, and it'll drop the pH a little bit. So, okay, so I don't know if you can see this from here, and you can't. So I have my lye over here, and all I'm doing is I'm just taking the syringe, and I'm just going to fill it with lye, and I'm just going to fill it just like that. So now I'm ready to start adding in the lye here. And I got my syringe, and I'm just getting it ready. And then I'm going to take my spoon, and I'm going to start stirring, and I'm going to make a really nice vortex, really strong one, just like that. And then take it out, and I'm just going to start dropping in the lye. And then as you start dropping in the lye, you start to see Ormus. And this is exactly what happens. And like I said, as you saw in the other video, I like to watch this stuff. It's pretty cool to watch it take shape and form and do what it does. And each time you add more lye in, you get more Ormus, and you can see it form and all that good stuff. I hope you can actually see this. I think you can. So what I usually do is I will drop a couple loads in here, and then I'll just let it sit there for a little bit and just watch it. Because just watching it is pretty neat. So I'm going to just go ahead and drop some more in. I don't stir it again, because once you start stirring it, that's when it starts looking like milk. And that's not what you want to achieve here. You want to actually see it. You can see all the big bits that are being extracted and being pulled out of the Dead Sea salt from the lye. This right here is probably the easiest part to this. And then once we actually put the meter in there and then start putting it to the test, that's when it starts to get tricky. So I'm going to push the rest of this in here like that. And just put that down here. And you can see that, and you can watch. And you can watch them all like go up in the air and form and get bigger, and then they, you know, you got this big pile down there. I don't know how much of this you can see. My gloves are wet. Yeah, I can see. I just want you to be able to see the actual meter in there and everything. So, okay. So we got that ready. Now, what we need to do is we need to calibrate the pH meter. That is next on the list. So, I'm going to pour in the fluid, and I'm just going to pour just enough. I'll show you this after I'm done pouring it in. And I'm just going to pour just enough just to get the meter to be inside it, so that the diode is surrounded by the fluid. It's just got to be enough just to cover it. And then once there's enough, then that's all you need. You don't need to use anything else or any more. And this one, the same thing with this one. Okay. Alright. And, it's looking like this battery's gonna die too. Huh. Not cool. Alright, so let me show you how to, I'm gonna disconnect this from here. Let me show you how to calibrate this meter right here. And I haven't used it in a while, so I don't know what it's going to do. And last time I tried calibrating this, it gave me a little trouble. So I'm just going to turn it on. And actually, you have to hold the button in while you're turning it on, and then it's going to tell you what one to put it in. Or turn it off, I think is what it is. There we go. Now we're in calibration mode. So now 7.01, it says use 7.01, which is the green. So we're going to put that in there. And as soon as it beeps and says, see right now it says REC, which means it's recording. That's a good sign. I wasn't getting that last time. It took me a little while to get that because I think I didn't have enough fluid in the diode. So once that records, then it's going to say use 4.01. And as soon as it records, then I can plug that in and put that into the 401 fluid, and then it'll be calibrated. And now it says use 4.01. So now we're just going to drop it in there, and it should automatically just start saying record, and we're just waiting for that, and it is perfect. Getting this calibrated is the most important thing that we can do here. If we don't have this calibrated, then we can't use the meter. So, just waiting for it. It's almost done. Come on. And it says OK too, so that means it's done. So it's calibrated. So now we can just stick this back in there for a minute. And I'm going to put this back in here. And hopefully, while I'm doing this, my batteries don't die. Hope that doesn't happen, but I can't guarantee it. So now that we're ready for the Ormus, I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to connect it right to the back of this, and it's already showing a pH rating. And our goal, once again, is to get the pH to 10.7 and then let it drop to 10.6. That is the ultimate goal. 10.73, I think, is the exact one that we want to get to. And that should be good. It shouldn't fall off. But I'm going to throw another one on there just to be on the safe side. It's wet, so it might not stick well. I don't know if you get electrical tape wet if it actually sticks properly like duct tape, but it's better than nothing. Alright. So now we add more lye and we start stirring. And I don't know if you can see the pH meter. That's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to turn it this way, and hopefully you can see what the pH meter reads. I think you should be able to. Yeah, looks like it, but I could be wrong. So I've already dumped in 2 things of lye, and now we're moving with the next one. So we're going to start stirring it, and I'm going to start stirring it, and as I'm stirring it, I'm just dropping in lye slowly at first, just dropping it in, and then you can watch the pH meter move. Like I said, this is based on a buffer. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to get this in here, because at some point I'm going to have to really stir this vigorously. And I'm just adding in the lye, drips at a time. I mean, and this is pretty much all it is. You're going to get to a point, once you start going over 10.5, it's going to look like milk. And it's going to take a little while. This is a long process. It takes roughly about 35 to 40 minutes sometimes to get this where you want it to be. And you know, and even then it takes longer than that. Like I said, you're pretty much going to be getting this lye. You're going to be filling up a lot of lye to do this much. To do 2 cups of dead sea salt, you're going to have to put in a lot of lye to get it up to 10.76. So we're just stirring and dropping in lye at the same time. And that's pretty much all that we're doing here. And right now it's at 9.33. So we're at 9.34, and it was just jumping. Sometimes it jumps back and forth. Like I said, we have to overcome the buffer, and that takes some time. It's going to stay at this for a little while, and then all of a sudden it's going to start jumping up really fast. And once it starts jumping up fast, that's when you really got to watch it, because every single drip that you add in makes a big difference on how much pH it goes up. So I'm just going to stop this just for a second, because I just have to go take a quick pee, and I'll be right back. Okay, alright, so I'm back. So as you can see, it dropped down to 9.25, and I'm just going to grab some more. And this is the process that I go through. This is how it works. Just have to keep doing it, and like I said, your arm is going to get tired from stirring it. It's just the way it is. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to keep going. The cool thing is you can stop and you know, and go back to it if you have to. See, and this is not working with this tape. This is not. I'm having a problem here. I've never used black tape before, so this is not working out the way I wanted it to. So now, now I'm going to have to just do this. Throw a couple of these over here like this. And it won't come off this way if I'm doing this. You just have to take it off, because otherwise you're not going to be able to put the cover on. Okay. So, and then your meter will go off from time to time, and it'll piss you off because you're in the middle of stirring, and then it'll just go off, which sucks, but there's nothing that you can do about it, except that's it. Just try not to get upset, don't get frustrated, just keep moving on. Hopefully I'm able to take care of this situation with the tape. Looks like I did, but and just keep doing this. And we're at 9.3. I just jumped. Jumping from 9.3 to 9.4, and it's going to do that. It's going to do that a lot. I'm going to have to turn this over to me because I need to get it to where I can see it better. Okay, it's not going anywhere. Now I gotta do another round of lye. Like I said previously, when I was making the lye, you just need to make sure that you have enough lye, because you don't want to have to go and make more, because it'll take a long time for that stuff to cool. A really long time. I was jumping between 9.37 to 9.4, 9.66. So I'm just going to keep doing that. 9.83. We're just working on overcoming the buffer. And your hand gets tired. Just keep stirring. That's all you do. And there's no real way to tell what the buffer is. You just have to, you just keep adding it in, keep stirring it, adding, stirring. There's nothing else that you can do. I mean, this is really, it's just such a, it's a time-consuming thing, but you have to just sit there and keep doing it. And it's tiring. But it's fun, you know. It's fun to make this stuff. I enjoy it. I just don't know how much of it you're going to be able to see because my batteries are dying. And we got to do another round of lye. Okay, here we go. I try to keep my meter right in front of me so that I can stir it as best as possible. Because when you have the meter over to the side, it's hard to stir. That's why I had to turn it this way. If you can't see it, I apologize. But it's easier to stir this way for me. I've seen people use blenders and all kinds of stuff, and you shouldn't use them. As it was, I disconnected the microwave, which is over to the left of me, because you can't do this around electrical components because of the electromagnetic fields that they emit. And sometimes if it feels like I've been adding in lye for a while, I'll speed up the process by dumping in a little bit more faster instead of slower, just to see if I can make that pH level jump. And sometimes it does, but like I said, it's just about that buffer. Adding it in, adding it in. Once it reaches enough of the lye with the salt content, then it just does what it needs to do, and it goes up. pH raises, and you get Ormus. When you start getting over 10.5, that's when it looks like it's more milky. That's when the platinum elements are what drop out of the water. Another round of lye. And right now, the buffer on this one is about 9.38. That's where we're at. And that's where it seems to be sticking. Until we get enough in there that it raises it up and keeps raising it. 9.47, and it's going up a little bit. And I'm also increasing the pressure a little bit. See if I can make the buffer jump up faster. Now it's at 9.5. So it's really just, you just have to feel it. When you start feeling like it's going to go up, just increase it a little bit. Increase the amount of lye that is being dripped into it. And you'll see it go up. Just takes a little time. You can see it's starting to get a little bit darker in color. And there goes it just turned off. And okay, adding in more lye. I think I add approximately about maybe 10 to 12, sometimes more. It really just depends on that buffer. And it's different every time. So we're at 9.52, 9.48. It's going to start going up there pretty soon. 9.7. I'm dripping it a little faster now. Let's see if we can get it to jump more. But you can't drip it in too fast. If you drip it in too fast, then you can't overcome that buffer. It takes longer. But you just have to keep doing it. .5 still, 9.51, dropped back down. Gotta go add in more lye. And yep. There we go. Going again. Going to go faster now. 1.52. You're going to watch the meter. It's going to jump. I don't know if you can see the meter, but it will start to jump up. And it'll jump up by a couple degrees. .63, and another round of lye. And like I said, it's a good thing I made more because I don't think I would have had enough if I hadn't made more. Especially because I always do 2 cups of the dead sea salt. So, and we're at 9.56. Another round. We're getting there. 9.55. We're almost to the point of overcoming that buffer. 9.6. Once it starts going up to 9.9 and 10, that's when you know that you're really right just about there. When this jug is almost full of water, that's when you know we're pretty much getting there. It's not quite there yet. And we're back to another round of lye. .67. .7. We're getting there. .72 is what we just hit on that one. So make sure we're still recording. Looks like my battery is just about dead, so I'm going to have to find another battery here, so bear with me for a minute. Okay, so we're back, and I got another round of batteries. I have no idea how good they are. They're old batteries, I guess. So now we're back to stirring. Keep going up. 9.72, and our meter went off again. No biggie. .77, so that's going to start jumping. Another round of lye. I think this is going to be the batch that starts moving it up to 9.9. Like I said, it's just about overcoming that buffer. Once we get past that buffer, once I get past this, I start increasing the speed of how much I'm dumping in at the same time. just so I can get it moving faster. So we're right at almost there. We're at 9.84. So this is going to be the batch that is going to be putting us probably pretty close to 10. And we're almost done. I would say, I would estimate, if I have to estimate, possibly another 2, maybe 3 more at the most, hopefully. 9.9. We're just about there. 9.6. 9.99. So we're just about there, like I said, just about 10. Another batch. So this, I believe, is going to be almost the last one. We got possibly this one. Possibly should do it. Get us right up there. So we're at 9.997. And I'm now starting to add it a little bit slower because as we start to get to that buffer, we have to be really careful. We don't want to go over that buffer. I mean, go over the 10.76. And we're at 10. Right now we're at 10.03. And I'm going to increase it a little faster. But just have to keep paying attention to that number. 10.1. Right when we start to hit 10.3 and 10.4, that's when I really start to slow it down. Because every little drop that you add after that, that's when it starts to go up a lot faster. At 10.1, 10.2, almost there. Another round of lye. Like I said, I think this one is going to be the last one. It's either going to be this one, or it's going to be the next one after that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be this one. See, now I'm just dripping it, and it's going up over 10.1, 10.2, 10.5, just went back down. So, like I said, it's just patience. 10.38, 10.6, 10.4, 10.47, 10.5. We're getting there. Once it goes over 10.5, that's when all those platinum elements, and it stays over 0.5. We're just about there. 10.75, and it just dropped, so we're just about there. Now I'm just doing some drips just to go a little slower. 10.68, 10.65. 10.79. That's the one that scares me. I'm going to slow it down a little bit more. And I'm just doing drips, a couple drips at a time. Not going fast, literally just dropping a couple of drops in here. 10.66. We're almost there. 10.73. Almost there. When it gets to 10.7 and holds at 10.7, that's when I drop it, stop, and it's still there. Let's see where we are here. So right now it's at 10.7, 10.69, 10.68. We just want to see how far it's going to drop down, because I'm going to stir it. But you can see right now it looks like milk. And that's exactly what we're looking for. And that is a perfect batch of Ormus. 10.67. We are done. Drop the rest of the lye in there. And that's it. 10.67. Beautiful. So now what we have to do is we can take this off. At least I can try to take it off. And we have to protect it. So what we have to do is we have to put it in aluminum foil. So now we're done with this. And I'm going to put it back in my distilled water. Let that stay in there for a little bit. And I'm going to put the cover on it, because this is done. So we don't have to stir it anymore. Stick the cover on it, and I can take my gloves off. Which I think I may have gotten a little bit of lye on there, so I'm going to take a paper towel and just make sure I wipe it, because I don't want to put my hands on that. That would not be too fun. So that's it for that. In the trash. Take my gloves off, and I'm going to wrap it with aluminum foil. Show you how to do that really quick, and that's it. I think I did this in about maybe 30 minutes, probably, give or take, with prep time. Just got to take these gloves off. All right, okay. Now let's get this aluminum foil. And move the lye, because we're done with that. And those two, stick that in the sink. Stick that in the sink. This is trash. And okay, so now I'm going to move this over here like this. And then I'm going to take aluminum foil. And I'm just going to make it long enough so that it covers the top. I believe this should be long enough. This might actually be more than long enough. Just want to make sure that it didn't do it. It wasn't long enough. But that's okay. We can fold this right over here. Just fold it around it. Side, fold it around it. You're going to want to use a couple of these, because the object of this is to make sure that you keep all of the electronic components, electromagnetic energy away from it. So now we can take this, we can go around the top of it like this. Like I said, you can do this a few times. Not gonna hurt it. And then draining it is pretty much the easy part. All we do is, this is done now, so, and you can throw another layer on if you want, but I'm getting kind of low on that, so I'm not going to do that. It should be okay. So to drain it, all you have to do is you have to get a siphon tube, which I have mine up here, and it just looks like this. Just got like a bulb. This is like an automotive one, and I'm sure probably Ian has something like this. And all you do is you take the small end and you put that inside here once you're ready. And basically this is going to sit for, we're going to do 7 days on this. We're going to make a really potent batch. So we're going to do this 7 days from now. I'm going to drain it. And then once I drain it, we load it up with, we load it right back to the 3 1/4 level with spring water, and we do the same thing. We drain it, and you have to drain it right down to the Ormus. So basically, when you first, when the 7 days has finished, then, and I'm going to show you this. You'll probably see it. You're going to see it in 7 days, but when the 7 days has passed, all of the Ormus is going to be down here, and you'll have all of the Ormus here. One thing I didn't do is I didn't charge it right now. I generally charge it. I usually charge it, but I didn't charge it. I can take this off and charge it, or I can do it right through the aluminum foil, but it probably would be better to do it without the aluminum foil on it. But the Ormus is going to be about to here, maybe here. It really just depends. Full moon generally gives you more Ormus, so I mean you might end up seeing it up to here, and then after the days preceding, it might drop down as you're washing it. So you're going to have water that's all the way up to here, and it's going to be clear, and that's what you're draining. You're just going to drain out the water from the suction tube, and then as soon as you get to the Ormus, you're going to suck up a little bit, but you want to get right down, right to the level of it, and then that's it. And then you pour the water in 3/4, like up to the 3/4 line, and then you stir it again, and then you go through the process again. You can charge it, and then put the aluminum foil on it, wait 7 days, and then do it again. You're going to do that 3 times. We're doing 3 washes, and then on the final, after the final 7 days, after the last wash, that is your final product once you drain it. So once you drain it, and then that's it. That's your Ormus. You can put it in, containers, or keep it in this, but make sure you keep it in the aluminum foil so that it keeps it protected, and make sure you keep it in a dark space where that's kind of quiet if possible. And that's it. So I'll show you this video beforehand, and I mean, it's not really, I don't think it's really needed that you need to see me actually drain it, but if you ask questions, I mean, I can gladly help you. So hope that helps. Thanks, and happy happy Ormus making.